Hey vinyl community, hey new wavers, it's Shad with Vinyl New Wave. I've got my trusty turntable in here today, and I've had this problem where my tone arm drops like a rock when I put down the lever instead of slowly lowering down onto the record. And so I did some research, looked around, and I found a place that is selling this dampening fluid. Or this damping fluid, and so I'm going to film putting this into the mechanism, and we'll see how it goes. There's like one or two videos out there in YouTube land that show doing this, but nobody does it. Nobody really kind of explains it or anything. So I'm trying to kind of explain it and show what I'm doing as I'm going, instead of just have a video of somebody doing the work. So follow on with me and we'll see if we can fix my tone arm. Okay, here we are. This is my Audio Technica AT LP120 USB turntable. And really I've not made any modifications to it at this point. Maybe at some point I will, but for right now, it works well for my purposes. As you can see, if you watch here, I've got the protector down on the stylus so I don't ruin the stylus, but if you watch, when I drop the tone arm, it just drops like a rock. There's no smooth, slow drop onto the platter. So my goal is to fix that, and to get to the place that I need to get to, I need to take off the head shell. Set that aside and take off the counterweight. I'll take this other backup head shell off, just get it out of the way. And then I need to there's a screw right here, right in the bottom of or right underneath the tone arm lifter. So I'm going to take this screw and back it out. Okay, and that pops it up. And there's a little spring that pops up out. So you be careful to not lose that spring, this little tiny spring. Okay, now according to the little paper that came with this, and the little paper and what I've seen on the internet, I just need to push a few little drops of this damping fluid inside that hole. And they say that it doesn't need much. And you have to kind of let it settle down in. It takes an hour. It's really thick and not super viscous. So I have to let that settle down into the hole. And they say that can take up to an hour or more. So I'm going to leave this here for now, and I will come back in about an hour and we'll see how it's doing. All right, so we're back. And it's the next day. I put the stuff in and then I had to leave it sit for a while, and then I got busy doing some other things. I came back and I put it all together, and I got too much stuff in there. So if you listen here when I lift up, you see it's moving pretty good. Ooh. It's a lot better than it used to be, but it's moving pretty slow. And if I leave it down for an extended period of time, it actually gets kind of difficult to lift up out. So I've got a little too much fluid in there, so I'm going to take it apart and excuse me, and get some of that fluid out with a Q-tip here. So let me get you on the tripod here. So I'll lift this up. Take off the head shell. Take off the counterweight. Move this record over here. All right. So I just take out this screw, and this screw is you can use to adjust the height of the tone arm rest. So you don't want to screw it all the way down, but you don't want to leave it too far out either. So I've got that out, and you can kind of tell here, but there's a lot of excess fluid in there. So I'm going to push that out, clean that up. And then I'm going to lower it and kind of do what I can to get the end of the Q-tip down in there. Not a lot of space. I'm getting a little bit out. Trying to just get some of this out without getting too much out. So I'm kind of pulling the cotton up off the top of the Q-tip and pushing it down in there and kind of mopping up fluid. Okay. And let's take this because the fluid's kind of all over this thing. Over the tone arm rest or the tone arm lifter. So I'm going to wipe that up. Wipe up any excess fluid here. Okay. Now my spring has stayed up in there. I don't know if you can see that, but the spring has stayed up in there because I think it's got a little bit of fluid in there. So let's take out the spring, Kind of get a Q-tip up in there and get any fluid out of there. Okay. All right, and replace the Tonearm lifter. Okay. Now we need to put the counterweight back on. And the head shell back on. Let's get this balanced. Okay, and set this to 1.75. And now we need to adjust the Tonearm height by screwing this screw down a little bit more. Kind of want it so that it's just barely above the Tonearm rest so that it easily moves over. And let's see how well the needle drops now. Now that's about perfect. It doesn't take a ton of effort. It doesn't take a lot of effort to lift it up. Earlier today when I went to lift it up, I had to actually exert a little bit of force, so that's obviously not ideal. This seems to be working a lot better. So there we go. Drops down nice and slow. All right, so that's it. I hope that you found this interesting and helpful. Like I said, I had found a few videos, but none of them really explained what they were doing. They just there were no words, they just did it. So I just wanted to kind of explain things. Hopefully that is helpful to somebody. If you liked the video, thumbs up, as always. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time.